approaching Soviet airspace.
Listen up, Jack. Your mission is to infiltrate Selino-Yarsk in the Soviet mountains, ensure the safety of Sokolov, and bring him back to the West.
The long-awaited tale of Big Boss's greatest mission in Operation Sneak Eater is back. It's 20 years since its first release, and it's left one hell of a mark in the gaming world. With the Xbox 2024 showcase, it's revealed the remake that we have all been longing for some time. And it appears that we can finally take a deep breath, as Konami and other devs in this creation of this wonderful remake have done exactly everything that we've expected to make it look so wonderful.
Your codename for this mission will be Naked Snake. I'll be referring to you as Snake from now on.
Not only does the game look faithfully presented like the original masterpiece we all loved, it has recaptured that essence and boosted it to a whole new level. It's even stated that the control scheme will allow the player to use original controls or the new ones if they choose. It doesn't get any better than this.
The clock is ticking. This will be a sneaking mission. You must not be seen by the enemy. You must leave no trace of your presence. Is that clear?
Now, the new controls is an evolution, a talking point, one that is clearly showcased here. The original wasn't as fluid in terms of transitions between movements, but we can see what appears to be a new incorporated new line of stealth, with standing to roll crawl within quick motion, in quick transitions to switch between different motions that seem very vastly improved on since Metal Gear Solid 5.
This kind of infiltration is the Fox unit's speciality. In other words, weapons and equipment to procure on site. That goes for food as well. You're completely naked, just as your name implies.
From presentation, we see a mixture between gameplay and cutscenes. MGS Delta appears to breathe new life into the remakes and establishes what it is to mean and gather a newer audience to the brilliance of this masterpiece, whilst retaining everything that made it so special to begin with us lucky fans who got to experience it first, all them years ago, but in a new fashion. That just maybe this MGS-free remake could just be like that of Resident Evil 4's remake that we can all appreciate.
I have to find my own weapons and equipment? Whose crazy idea was this anyway?
The mission rests entirely in your hands.
A real one-man army.
The Unreal Engine 5 definitely sparks a wave of atmosphere that we have never seen in the tapestry of MGS before, apart from Metal Gear Solid 5 and the beloved Fox engine that paved the way for a whole new immersive experience. Details that captured the essence of realism of a stealth espionage experience. It's clearly showcased here that MGS Delta has took MGS and really made it look appealing without removing any essence, but in fact adding to that shade of detail that only just makes the experience feel more realistic. Something that we can finally experience and not have to play on a forsaken pachinko machine. Because the Metal Gear series deserves nothing less than perfection than cheap, lazy imitations that don't allow for the original experience to be told as it should. The CQC has now taken a new meaning with this evolution in hand-to-hand combat since the original. We saw how such fighting style created by Boss and Big Boss, that was known worldwide for being the best, has now taken a whole new step in confrontations, one that feels faithful but reimagined, that makes every single body movement more intense with each grasp of the enemy's life. So there is a lot to digest in this trailer, but in this screenshot you see here, which appears in the famous location where you face the end, it appears that Naked Snake is firing his Moisant Naggin in a third-person view, unlike previously in the original, which would take you to a first-person scope screen, which seems like an additional feature that has been added on since Metal Gear Solid 4, where we have the crosshair aim. Although truth be told, we can't see no crosshair here, so just like Metal Gear 1, 2 and 3, there could be a third-person aim system, but it's perhaps a lot better than the original, but without the crosshair. It's worth noting as well that the cutscenes, whilst not fully experienced until we play it, are completely the same, but just look a whole lot better From Naked Snake taking on a whole squad of the Ocelot unit to what appears to be a new game plus where we can use the M63 machine gun, and just other details that tease a remake that could cement itself as being just as worthy as its predecessor. It also appears that every memorable location is here to stay, ones that hold great moments that made this game arguably the best we've seen in the series, that all carry an emotional weight to return to something that we can once see again in better quality. Another grand feature that is clearly implied in MGS Delta is the menu interface and the life and stamina gauge, which will most likely be an optional thing to switch on or off. Perhaps it may be mandatory given on a boss fight, but MGS5 just sets the perfect example of being able to decide what we can choose on our screens. It's definitely paved the way to improve on a remade game with the fundamentals of its controls that makes a remake perfect. And would you believe it possible that the boss makes a stunning return, looking just as one could only dream of looking? The legendary enigma that she is, with the olive drab uniform, that signature bandana, and that cold battle stare where you know she's seen the depths of hell itself. Just as I said, Konami could not afford to mess this one up, and from what I'm seeing, they haven't. But the end result is still remain to be seen. Every single detail from head to toe, the 3D modelists have done a fantastic job in recapturing the details from the original. It really looks as if someone has really put some passion into this, because when viewing the characters such as Major Zero and Paramedic, they are faithful to the original, as they can possibly be. Of course, they can only tease so much because we're yet to see any more brilliance of this remake, and any of the Cobra units, Sokolov, Ocelot, Volgin, Sorrow, Granin, Eva, Rykov, and hell, even Johnny. It's clear that nothing has been tampered with in terms of the integrity of this legendary title. The character models just look as they should, including the Soviet patrols, the Ocelot unit, but sadly it's something that Silent Hill has failed to do, in my opinion. Hiring Blooper Team was an epic failure for the likes of such an epic title such as Silent Hill 2. It was a bad mistake, and they would have been better off, in my opinion, to hand over such development to the people who managed the MGS3 remake, because they clearly know what they're doing. Bear in mind too that since our beloved Kojima left Konami, some of the boys from Kojima Productions have remained and assisted in this title, one that I think Kojima would give a subtle nod of approval, all considering for his ex-teammates, one that he's allowed in the past to work on future projects without really much of his assistance. It's also worth bringing to your attention that all the beloved voice actors that made the experience so special are here to stay, including David Hayter. The audio clearly sounds much better, but with better tech that's a given really. But whoever was the lead director of Silent Hill 2 should take notes, because why is it necessary to keep switching voice actors every time they make a new Silent Hill game, especially a remake? In fact, it just from a business standpoint is a waste of resources, and one I'm sure in time Konami will just regret. Given on the legendary voices of such game like Silent Hill 2, there's no reason why they couldn't have just used today's tech to rebuff such voice acting. Just like the Metal Gear Solid 3 remake.
Commencing virtuous mission now. Commencing virtuous mission now.
As you can see, everything has been showcased and reimagined without losing anything integral to its core foundations. There's no denying the visual beauty, the dynamic physics of both Naked Snake and every other character, as well as the environment that adds to a whole new layer of gaming and the experience, including hunting for food such as goats in case you run out of ramen. Please, before I leave you, there is a piece of footage that wasn't included in the trailer that some of you will remember as we all thought that big boss, when he got his ass tossed off that bridge, he was definitely done for. I don't know about you guys, but it still seems like there could be some hope for this remake. After all, this is a beloved game, and we're yet to judge it for when it comes out. Anyway, I'm a one-man band. I make my videos, edit and do everything myself, so if you can, please like and subscribe and support the channel. If not, cool. Anyway, I'm the Voice Box, and I'll see you all soon.